problem involving Liv Morgan has resurfaced, and in this video I'm going to tell you what that is and why it's not necessarily a good thing for Liv Morgan. Now, this comes at a very interesting time because Liv Morgan is just a few short days away from challenging Becky Lynch for the Women's World Championship at the King and Queen of the Ring PLE in Saudi Arabia on Saturday, May 25th. And for Liv Morgan fans, this has been a moment that they have waited and waited and waited, because year after year of WWE wasting the potential of Liv Morgan, well, she is now primed to go on a run of a lifetime. If you look at the way that they have booked her in the last few weeks, well, it is very clear that the fans are behind Liv Morgan. More importantly, it is known that WWE is behind her as well. Because, yes, she is a former women's champion. Yes, she has been in big matches. And yes, she has been in some notable feuds. But since returning at the Royal Rumble in January, Liv Morgan has been in a prominent role, whether it be a prominent place in the Women's Royal Rumble match, whether it be in the Women's Elimination Chamber match, whether it be supposed to feud with Rhea Ripley for the Women's World title coming out of WrestleMania after Rhea Ripley had retained said championship over Becky Lynch. Now, things obviously changed. Rhea went down with an injury, AC joint sprain in her shoulder, and she's not going to be back for several months. The good news is we do know that WWE is putting a spotlight on Liv Morgan. Heck, they were putting a spotlight on Liv Morgan before the injury. And yes, she would have likely lost in that feud with Rhea Ripley. She was still going to be put in a prominent spot. But ironically, things turned around for Liv Morgan in a very unexpected way, considering that now she's a bigger star than ever. At WWE, well, they turned her heel. She is continuing her revenge tour, if you will. And now, after being screwed out of a Women's World Championship victory just a few short weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, with Becky Lynch winning said championship, she's about to win it. I believe that Liv Morgan will walk out of Saudi Arabia as our Women's World Champion, and for one, I cannot wait. But unfortunately, though, it comes at a time where something has come back up. It's something that she wanted to forget about, the company wanted to forget about. More importantly, Liv Morgan fans out there wanted to forget about. So what is that issue? Well, it happened last December. Following a traffic stop, police found that Liv Morgan was in possession of marijuana, not more than 20 grams of drugs, possibly synthetic cannabinoids. She was pulled over after her vehicle crossed over County Road's white and yellow lines. This led to a deputy smelling marijuana. When talking with her, and later found a small plastic bag containing marijuana and a vape pen with oil-like substance that was discovered to be marijuana. Now, look, in the state of Florida where she was pulled over, marijuana is legal to purchase with a prescription. The case was later resolved as there are no labs in the state that can perform a test that could prove that it came from synthetic sources and not plant sources. So the crux of the problem was, is this synthetic or is it natural? If it's natural, great, everything's fine. If it's synthetic, not so much. So in the end, Morgan pleaded of a nolo contendence. It was not a formal conviction, and she only had to pay a fine and court costs. She did not get heat from WWE due to the arrest, as she was recovering from an injury at the time. Now, the Law and Crime Network released the body cam footage from the police officer who pulled her over and arrested her. That has come out online. It's about a 26 to 30 minute video. I will say this. Considering the circumstances, Liv Morgan handled herself very well. She was cool, calm, collected. She was very respectful to the officer, followed all of his instructions. It was at night. It's always a sketchy situation when you have involvement with police to begin with. It's always a sketchy situation when you have an interaction with police at night. Why is this a problem? because it brings up a negative light on Liv Morgan, and it also brings a negative light to the company. Even though she was off television at the time, despite the fact that it was 6 months ago, the timing of this wasn't ideal. It's something that we all want to forget about. And yes, in the coming days, people will forget about it. But for right now, instead of positivity behind Liv Morgan, there's this shade of gray on Liv Morgan, and that, coming from a Liv Morgan fan, I just don't like to see. I don't want to remember her arrest because, look, she wasn't charged, she was not convicted of anything, right? So, hypothetically, she didn't do anything wrong. Situationally, she didn't do anything wrong. But anytime you're arrested and anytime your mugshot comes out or anytime the actual arrest footage comes out, it's just like, ugh. Let's just forget about this, right? Whatever your stance on that is, it's like, it is what it is. Now, will this hurt Liv Morgan in her push right now? No. If she didn't get heat from the incident at the time, she's not going to get heat now. Will that impact her championship opportunity? Of course not. I still think she's going to go into Saudi Arabia. I still think she's going to beat Becky Lynch, and I think she's still going to have a very fun summer title defense, a very fun summer run that will eventually lead us to the Rhea Ripley match. I'm telling y'all, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, that is a big match. That is a main event worthy match. I could make the argument that Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch should headline the King and Queen of the Ring PLE. I know they won't, but I could make a strong case. I think that match has more heat than Cody Rhodes defending the undisputed WWE Championship against Logan Paul. I think it has more heat than the tournament matches. If I had to guess, I'm going to assume that Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul headlines the show. I really do. I could see the King of the Ring headlining the show. I assume Gunther gets past Jey Uso. In the semifinals, I'm picking Gunther to win that tournament. But I would like to see Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch. It's the best built-up feud out of all the matches. It has the most heat of all the matches. You know you're getting a championship match with a title change on the line, right? You have all the elements to make the case why this match should be the main event. And I think for Liv Morgan fans, I think for Becky Lynch fans, I think we should rally and try to get this match done.